Natasha Garcia, welcome to UpFront. How are you?
I am fantastic. How are you, sir?
I am so happy. I'm grinning from ear to ear because I'm so excited to have you on the show. We've been talking about this for years now, getting you on UpFront. I've known you for a very long time, and let me say this because my listeners know I try to bring the very best in Black entertainment, whether a person is in front of the camera or behind the scenes. And I have been a personal witness to your greatness. You probably don't know this, but I attended your show. I saw it in a dream years ago. And I remember the actress, Bertina Shannon, who I actually the next year because we participated in a local version of The Wiz, and we've been Wiz friends ever since. And so, yeah, so I have witnessed this almost 20-year journey of you doing what you've been doing as a creator of stars, which is what your moniker says. You create stars, and I can attest to that because Bree's career has been nothing short of amazing. I mean, she's really gone on to do some amazing work. Yeah. So, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm so happy to be here. So grateful, so thankful, and I can't wait to dig in and let's talk.
So let's tell our audience exactly what you do, because you are the founder of AGI, which is a amazing agency that spots talent, you cultivate talent, you kind of you recognize it, and then you take things to the next level. So as the founder, tell our audience what you do.
So I am the founder, owner of AGI Entertainment, Performing Arts and Entertainment Company. And what we do is we train and develop people to be stars, right? And we start from the beginning of their career and we take them all the way to the end if they want us to go all the way with them to the end. We've been doing this for 20 years. For so long, we were called the best kept secret. And I'm like, the secret's out. We're no longer a secret. I have some amazing people that I've had the opportunity to work with, to develop and grow. And normally when I meet people I know right away, like some people I'm like, oh my God, they've got it. And then others, it takes time to actually cultivate. But I'm called the star maker because most people who start working with me, if they continue, they become stars, which is incredible.
Absolutely. And I have to say, you have been featured on The Real Housewives. Your son, Brandon, who is another major talent, was most recently featured on Songland, which is, I got to say, I was in Los Angeles at the NBC studios when they made the first announcement about Songland. I was actually there with a couple of other journalists, and they were rolling out some of their new programming. And they said, if you guys love The Voice, you're going to love Songland, because this gives songwriters an opportunity to present their music in front of talent. So John Legend, all of these people, so your son, when I saw his name and I saw his face, I was like, ah!
It was amazing. It was incredible. That particular opportunity came like out of the blue. I had a few people on The Voice already, and The Voice and the casting for The Voice and Songland were the same people. And so they had called me and they were asking about one of the groups that I had. And I was like, oh yeah, my son is the songwriter. And they were like, oh, what about this person? I was like, he's the songwriter. And they're like, what about the songwriter? They're like, wait a minute, we have a songwriter show. Like, you should have him submit. And he had already submitted, but now I had a contact over there. So I was like, hey, let me just send over his submission. And lo and behold, he made it. He went, he did it. It was amazing. And I'm just like, wow, that was kind of like a God wink there, especially when it's your kid.
Absolutely. Let's talk about the services, if we can give our listeners a breakdown of the services that you provide.
Okay, so we do singing, acting, dancing. I've got this philosophy about everyone being a triple threat, right? I think that it's important that you bring more than one thing to the industry. It makes you more marketable. So a lot of times people will come in and they're like, I want to be a singer. And I'm like, okay, but do you act and dance? No. Well, I make everybody do everything. So every one of my clients They're singing, they're acting, they're dancing, and they don't have to be great at it. You don't have to want to be the next, dancer or anything. I just want you to be comfortable in your own skin. I want you to be a fearless performer. Fearless performers are not afraid to do something that they may not be great at, right? So it's crazy how we've taken actors who never sang before and given them enough confidence to be able to stand flat-footed and sing. Again, it doesn't have to be amazing, but it's surprising, like some of the roles that they go out for, they'll call me back and go, I would have never gotten this role if you didn't make me dance. Guess what I'm doing on the show? I'm dancing. I'm like, what? And they're an actor. So everyone has to sing, act, and dance. We also do artist development, which I love for people who want to be serious artists, want to take their career, get a label deal or whatever. We do intense boot camps for that. We do summer camp and winter camp, which is like, we call it the industry boot camp. People come from all around the world to be a part of this. I think the furthest we had someone was from South Africa, which is crazy. But they come from everywhere, because I not only give them an opportunity to train and develop, but we bring the tastemakers out that can actually sign them. So casting directors, managers, agents, some PR come to our shows. So not only do you get trained, but now you can also be picked up, which is incredible. That's the Star Makers way. And we also do production. So Brandon's over the production part of what we do. Our creative developer, he's our creative director here, and he's signed to Candy Burris actually as a writer. So we do all of our music stuff at the Candy Factory, and Brandon is in charge of that. So any videos, songwriting, vocal production, photo shoots, all of that, we do that as well. So my husband is also a part of the company. He's founder with me. We're co-founders. He's the president of the company. He runs the school side. And then I'm a manager as well. So I manage talent and I run the management side. So we're a family business doing this together now for 20 years.
I love the mantra of creativity, discipline, and drive, because when I think about what it really takes to be, you have to have all three of those principles. So how did you come up with that mantra?
We had this meeting with one of our mentors when we were just trying to really drill down, what we stood for and what words stood out. And it was myself, my husband, and my son, just kind of throwing words on the board, like, what is AGI? What does it stand for? And we drilled it down to, if it's not creative, we don't want to do it. If there isn't any discipline, my husband is huge on discipline, just making sure that you're disciplined in yourself. If you're not disciplined, it's not going to happen. And then you don't want to see someone that's creative and disciplined, but they don't have any drive. Drive is what gets you up in the morning. Drive is what makes you go after your goal. So when we came to those three, we were like, man, that's pretty powerful. Yeah. And so everything we do, we try to make sure that you see it being creative. You see some type of discipline. Like, we're not just showing up, whenever, we're not, opening late or starting shows late. We try to start on time because of the discipline. And then the drive is like, hey, nothing's going to stop us. Not even COVID. Like, we made it through that. We're still walking through it. But when everybody was closed, we were like, okay, drive says that we have to come up with another way to do this. So what does that look like? Yeah.
I was going to ask, how did you pivot? Because when COVID hit, it really struck the entertainment industry very hard. I mean, I did a series titled The Show Must Go On, Entertainment and COVID-19. And so I talked to the Broadway stars who were at a standstill. A lot of the singers' gigs were canceled. Television, however, was able to move forward. So as a star maker and as someone that is constantly working with talent, that is trying to go out for auditions, how has COVID changed your approach in teaching them how to get jobs, how to get gigs?
Yeah, it was the first 4 months, because we're right at a year now, right? We're in March. We're right at a year, almost to the week that we all, our lives changed forever. The first 4 months, it was really tough. And I was thinking, we were closed because, of course, we didn't know what this thing was. So what I did is I did a talent show online. I decided, because I realized how much that fed me, right? Because now I'm at home and I'm starting to feel like depression sitting in and, the gray cloud over me. And I'm like, I need something that's going to inspire me. Let me go online and do a live, submit your stuff on Instagram and do a showcase. And I did. And the first one, we had like 20 something people, and the prize was $500. So of course, people were like, COVID time, I could use $500. And then we did another one and another one and another one. We ended up doing 4, and it actually brought new clients in. And then we made those clients online clients. So we're like, hey, we can teach you online. We had online dance going on. We had online acting going on. And we were doing it like as it was happening. It was like no curriculum. We didn't have everything set up beautifully. It was like, let's get on Zoom. Let's figure it out. And it was interesting, but it turned into a whole thing. And then when we decided in June, I think, or July, that we were going to come back in the building for camp, what I started to tell my talent was, hey guys, this is downtime. Some people are going to sleep. This is the time for you to grind. This is the time for you to level up. Because when it opens back up, opportunities are going to be, oh my God. And so my talent decided, instead of, because a lot of them were depressed, a lot of them were home. My son was shooting a show. Well, he actually was in a theater show in Milwaukee where he was the lead. And his birthday was on the 12th of March. And I think we found out that it was not going to keep going on the 13th, right? Because COVID was doing what it did. And then the 14th, he came home. And for 4 months, he was so down because he's like, what do? I don't know if I'll ever be back on another stage. I'm like, we got to pivot. This is when you got to start to think and ask God for insight. What do I do in this time? I can either win or I can lose. And it's really up to me. And so my actors, I started saying, okay, let's do some acting workshops. Let's grind. Let's get ready. So when those agents start calling, y'all are ready to go. And I can honestly say I've got one actor that's in 3 shows right now, recurring role, because she took my advice. She trained her butt off in the downtime. So when the lights came back on, she booked everything she went out for. And I was like, wow. And so that's what we did. And so now things are starting to open up a little bit better. And you've got those that are prepared, and you've got those that are trying to get prepared. You know what I mean? And then if entertainment is what you love, one of the things I said is go online, do a concert from your home, stream it, have people pay for it, whatever you got to do. Nothing's going to take away what we love doing. As long as we have breath in our body, we can do it. We just may not be able to do it the way we want to do it, but we can do it.
I want to talk about parents that may be listening. We hear all the time, oh, my son is talented, or, oh, my daughter is talented. When should a parent start getting representation for a child that has shown some form of talent in the arts?
The biggest thing that I think parents need to know is training is paramount. A lot of times parents are saying, my kids are talented, or someone saw them and said, hey, they need to be on TV. You got a face that belongs on TV, but they've never been trained before. And a lot of times people don't want, they're like, well, they're raw talent. I don't want to mess with their raw talent. But you still have to understand that this is a business. So in order for that raw talent to work within the business, they need to be training. Once they start training and you have a professional tell you that your kid is ready, then at that time, they're ready to start looking for representation. Now, getting representation in Atlanta is not easy because you can't send unsolicited information to agents. They don't take it. You have to have someone like me that refers you to an agent. So I suggest getting in a school, getting with a program with someone who's in the industry that can say, hey, you need to check out this kid. You know what I mean? But you got to start with training, because what you do is a disservice to your kid if you just bring them into the industry, or you have them doing a whole lot of extra roles or whatever, and they don't really know the terms. They don't know what a slate is. They don't know what their mark is. They don't know anything. And it's like, no, this is a business. It's a business.
I want to talk about how you actually came from behind the scenes and released music yourself. You can't be a star maker unless you're a star, right?
Right.
Let's talk about that project, if you will.
Oh my God. So I started off singing when I was 10, right? I was an entertainer and I did it my whole life. And I didn't really see myself doing anything else. Once I had my son, he started singing, got married, and then we started the business. I was kind of like, I'm going to take everything that I am and I'm going to pour it into other people. Well, what I found was after 20 years, I started being deficient, if you will, of the art myself. I started feeling like I wasn't as happy because I wasn't using my gift. It was like, God was like, I didn't tell you to stop using your gift. I said, help other people, but you can still use your gift too. So I remember calling Brandon saying, you got to write me a song. If you don't, I'm going to literally die. Now, that doesn't mean die like die, but die spiritually, die creatively. I felt like there was so much that I wanted to say, but I didn't know how to say it, and I needed to say it in a song. So he wrote me a song called Best Life like 4 years ago. He wrote it 4 years ago, came home, shared it with me, and I was like, wow, this song is dope. We never recorded it. Every time I tried to get in the studio, he was busy. He was with someone else. I was like, you gonna do your mom like that? Like, I can't even get in the studio. Like, what I gotta do? Call Don Juan, call Candy myself. What's up? So finally, we recorded it. This was before COVID. I was like, Brandon, we've got to get in the studio. So we got in the studio. The song is called Best Life. The lyrics at that time was what I had come through. I had gone through a bunch of stuff, wasn't necessarily living my best life. And then now I record this song and I'm like, wait a minute, this was almost like prophetic. Like, I'm actually living the life that I was talking about. 4 years ago, I wasn't, but now I feel like I am. So we record the song, then COVID hits. So I'm trying to put the song out because as creatives, you know, once we got something, we're like, come on, let's put it out, put it out. And Brandon's like, who's going to listen to it? Ain't nobody going to listen to it right now. Like, there's a lot going on in the world. Everybody's not interested in, you know, you putting out a record right now, Mom. You've got to have strategy. So finally, for my 50th birthday, I was like, it's my bucket list. This is what I need to do to make me happy. I'm going to release the song. He's like, okay, 50th birthday. That's a good time to release it. And that's what my birthday theme was, Best Life. And so many people have told me, even with this COVID thing, when you listen to the words, it's like, been through it all, but standing here now, see the smile on my face, it once was a frown. Like, so many people have that story. Like, wow, I am living my best life, or I want to live my best life. And then I found that there was an audience for me because I kept feeling like I'm older now. Ain't nobody trying to listen to me. But all of the people like in their 40s and 50s, like, they love it because that's the kind of music that they're used to listening to. They don't want to hear all the stuff that's on the radio. They're like, no, right there, that's my song. So, Best Life. Best Life.
Thank you so much for being a guest today on UpFront. Again, we finally got you on the show to talk about AGI, to talk about being a star maker, and to talk about making music yourself. How can our listeners find you on social media?
Okay, so for my personal social media, it's I am Natasha Garcia with an R. I am Natasha Garcia. And then for AGI, it's AGI Entertainment Official. That's where we are on Instagram. You can find me on Facebook, AGI Entertainment. We have our own page. And then I am Natasha Garcia on Facebook as well. Our website, www.agientertainment.com. And then, of course, you can always call the office, 678-324-7218.
All right, Natasha Garcia, thank you so much, and continue to live your best life in 2021.
Thank you for having me. I'm so grateful. Thank you so much.